Imagine living a life where your every move isn't judged, where your dreams aren't filtered through someone else's expectations, and where your self-worth isn't a vote cast by the opinions of others. Most people waste years trying to fit into boxes they were never meant for, only to realize too late that approval is a prison disguised as praise. It's time to reclaim your voice, your path, and your peace. This is your call. To stop caring what other people think of you and start living the life you were truly meant for, unapologetically, powerfully, and free. Number 1, not everyone deserves a seat at your table. Not everyone deserves a seat at your table. And the sooner you understand this, the freer and more focused your life becomes. You see, your table represents your energy, your attention, your vulnerability, and your time. It's the sacred space where your goals are shaped, your values are tested, and your spirit is either nurtured or drained. The people you allow to sit there directly influence your self-worth, your decisions, and your future. Yet so many of us, out of habit, fear, guilt, or loneliness, allow anyone with a loud voice or familiar face to pull up a chair. We confuse proximity with loyalty, attention with respect, and history with alignment. But just because someone has known you for years doesn't mean they see you, support you, or deserve access to the most tender parts of your soul. Some people sit at your table only to eat off your plate, criticize your choices, or gossip when your back is turned. They don't clap when you win, they don't hold you when you fall, and they don't inspire you to become more. Their energy is rooted in control, comparison, and smallness. And every time you let them stay, you reinforce the false belief that your worth is tied to being liked, accepted, or polite. But your table is not a public bench. It is not a cherry. It is not a place where masks are worn or dreams are mocked. You must become intentional with who you allow in that space. Those who challenge you with love, not judgment. Those who see your blind spots but never weaponize them. Those who believe in the highest version of you, even when you're too tired to believe in it yourself. This doesn't mean you act with arrogance or close yourself off to others, but it does mean developing discernment. Everyone can be loved from a distance, but not everyone gets front row access to your life. You need to audit your circle, not from a place of ego, but from a place of alignment. Are these people pushing you forward or pulling you back? Are they building with you or just benefiting from you? Are they challenging your growth or clinging to your past? You have a right, a responsibility to protect your peace. You don't owe explanations for protecting your energy. You don't need permission to choose yourself. And if someone is offended by your boundaries, it's a sign they were benefiting from your lack of them. So raise your standards. Redefine your inner circle. Make your table a place where truth is spoken, faith is fed, and vision is valued. Because when your table is filled with the right people, conversations shift, energy multiplies, and growth becomes the default. And that, more than temporary comfort or false connection, is what truly honors your journey. Number 2, their judgments reflect their limits, not yours. Their judgments reflect their limits, not yours. And the moment you truly internalize this, you'll stop shrinking yourself to fit into the narrow spaces other people live in. You see, people don't see you as you are. They see you through the lens of their own experiences, fears, wounds, and limitations. When someone tells you that your dream is too big, what they're really saying is, I can't imagine that for myself. When they mock your ambition, it's because they abandoned their own. When they question your change, it's because they're terrified of evolving. And when they try to keep you in a box, it's because they've never allowed themselves to step outside of one. But just because someone can't understand your path doesn't mean you're on the wrong one. Just because they laugh doesn't mean it's a joke. Just because they doubt you doesn't mean you're not capable. Their reactions aren't a reflection of your potential. They're a mirror of their limitations. And the mistake many people make is interpreting someone else's disbelief as truth, absorbing that energy and allowing it to become an internal ceiling. But your life was never meant to be built on their fears. You were not born to carry their unresolved traumas, their scarcity mindset, or their lack of vision. Every time you let their judgment shape your choices, you trade your power for their comfort. You silence your calling so they don't feel small. You walk slower so they don't feel left behind. You hide your light so they aren't blinded. But you weren't put here to make others feel safe in their stagnation. You were put here to grow, to rise, to challenge, to expand. And often that makes people uncomfortable, not because there's something wrong with you, but because your courage exposes their complacency. Your discipline highlights their distractions. Your belief reminds them of everything they gave up on. And so they judge, they label, they criticize. But behind every judgment is a limitation they haven't faced. And if you live by their opinions, you'll die with the regrets. So don't let their voices override your inner knowing. Don't let their limitations become your lifestyle. Understand that greatness is often lonely in the beginning. Because those who think small will always question those who think beyond. They'll say you've changed, and they'll be right. You were meant to. They'll say you've forgotten where you came from, but they've simply forgotten where you're going. So the next time someone judges you, smile, not because it doesn't sting, but because you understand it's not about you. It never was. Their lens is blurry, but your vision is clear. Their path is crowded, but yours is sacred. Let them think what they want, let them whisper, let them doubt, and then keep moving. Because your life is not up for consensus, and your potential isn't waiting for permission. Their judgment is not your truth. Their fear is not your future. And their limits are not your destiny. Number 3, you are not here to be understood. You're here to be real. You're not here to be understood. You're here to be real. And the moment you stop performing for approval, you begin living with truth. So many people go through life wearing masks, playing roles, shrinking their truth just to fit into someone else's script. They water down their voice to avoid conflict, dilute their passion to avoid judgment, and bury their uniqueness to earn a temporary seat at a table where they were never meant to stay. But let's be honest. Being understood is often a comfort we crave, not a necessity we need. Because, truth be told, realness is often misunderstood. When you choose to live authentically, when you no longer pretend to be smaller than you are, when you stand in your values without compromise, not everyone will get it. Some will misread your confidence as arrogance, your boundaries as rudeness, your silence as distance, and your purpose as pride. But that's the price of being real in a world addicted to appearances. And the goal is not to be universally accepted, but to be deeply aligned with your soul, your path, your integrity. When you live to be understood, you twist and bend yourself into shapes that please others but break you in the process. You seek external clarity instead of internal peace. You let strangers, critics, even well-meaning friends define you, validate you, shape you. But your journey was never meant to be public property. Not everyone is meant to understand your transformation, your decisions, or your pace. Some people will only recognize who you were, not who you're becoming. And if you keep trying to be understood, you keep staying stuck in versions of yourself that no longer reflect your truth. Being real means being willing to be alone at times. It means choosing integrity over popularity. It means being okay with people walking away if the cost of their closeness is your authenticity. It means telling the truth even if your voice shakes. Standing tall even when misunderstood, and holding the line even when others demand you shift. Because realness is magnetic. It may not draw everyone, but it draws the right ones. And the ones who see you in your truth, who respect your rawness, who stay without needing you to shrink. That's your tribe. That's your circle. And more importantly, that's the life that feeds your soul, not just your image. Understand this. Your authenticity is your power. It doesn't need permission. It doesn't need applause. It just needs to be lived. You're not here to impress, entertain, or explain yourself into acceptance. You're here to embody truth so deeply that your presence becomes permission for others to do the same. And yes, that means being misunderstood. That means being questioned. That means walking paths few dare to tread. But it also means living in peace, speaking with clarity, and sleeping with a conscience unburdened by compromise. So stop explaining, stop shrinking, stop performing. You don't owe anyone an explanation for being real. You don't need to justify your evolution. Your job is not to make others comfortable with your growth. It's to grow anyway. The world doesn't need more agreeable people. It needs more authentic ones. So be the one who doesn't flinch in the face of misunderstanding. Be the one who stays rooted while others shift with every breath. Be the one who lives real, even if not everyone understands it. Because in the end, being real will bring you the freedom that being understood never could. Number 4, approval is addictive, but freedom is peace. Approval is addictive, but freedom is peace. And until you break the habit of needing others to validate your worth, you will stay trapped in a life built on performance instead of purpose. The need for approval is subtle, seductive, and deeply rooted in human nature. From a young age, we are conditioned to seek praise from parents, teachers, peers, and over time, it becomes a reflex. We chase likes, compliments, and nods of approval like a drug, never realizing we're slowly surrendering pieces of ourselves in exchange for temporary validation. We modify our words so they land well, adjust our image so it's likable, and suppress our truth so it won't offend. But every time we seek permission to be ourselves, we hand over a piece of our freedom. Approval might feel good in the moment, but it is always conditional. It's given based on who others want you to be, not who you truly are. And the more you rely on it, the more you lose touch with your inner compass. You begin to second-guess your choices, silence your voice, and tailor your life to fit someone else's expectations. This is the slow death of authenticity, because when your self-worth is attached to how others perceive you, your happiness becomes fragile, constantly shifting with the opinions of people who don't walk in your shoes, carry your burdens, or understand your calling. You become afraid to take risks, to stand out, to evolve, because the fear of disapproval weighs heavier than the desire to be free. But here's the truth most never admit. The approval you're chasing will never be enough. There will always be someone who disapproves, someone who misunderstands, someone who thinks you too much or not enough. And when you live for their applause, you become a prisoner to their expectations. You edit your soul for a seat at tables you were never meant to sit at. You'll sacrifice your peace for their comfort. You'll abandon your mission just to fit into a mold that was never shaped for you. That's why freedom, true freedom, isn't found in being accepted by everyone. It's found in accepting yourself. It's found in waking up every day and choosing to live in alignment with your values, your truth, your inner knowing, whether people applaud or not. Freedom is the quiet confidence that comes from no longer needing external validation to know you're enough. It's the ability to say no without guilt, to walk away without explaining, and to speak your truth without softening it for others. Freedom is peace because it's not reactive. It's rooted. It's not frantic. It's calm. It allows you to walk through life without the exhausting weight of constantly seeking approval. It gives you room to grow, to evolve, to take up space without apology. And the irony is, the moment you stop chasing approval and start living free, the right people begin to show up. People who respect your truth, not your performance. People who are drawn to your light, not your mask. People who see you, not just what you do for them. So let go of the addiction to approval. Let go of the need to be liked by everyone. Because peace isn't found in pleasing the world. It's found in honoring your soul. And once you taste the freedom of being fully yourself, you'll wonder why you ever traded it for something as fleeting and fickle as someone else's opinion. Number 5, you're wasting energy that could build your future. You're wasting energy that could build your future. And the tragedy is, most people don't even realize how much of their mental, emotional, and spiritual strength is being drained by caring about things that do not matter and opinions that do not serve them. Every moment you spend overthinking someone's judgment, replaying a conversation to make sure you are liked, or hesitating to act because you are afraid of being misunderstood, you are stealing precious energy from the life you were meant to create. That energy could be poured into building your skills, sharpening your vision, nourishing your relationships, or deepening your inner peace, but instead, it's scattered across imagined criticisms and unspoken expectations. When you live your life trying to manage everyone else's perception of you, you're not living your life. You're performing in a play where everyone else writes the script and you're just a character in their story. The human mind is incredibly powerful, and when it's focused, it can move mountains. But when it's distracted by people-pleasing and insecurity, it becomes a prisoner of its own potential. Think about the hours you've lost trying to be enough for people who don't even know who they are. Think about the emotional exhaustion of trying to be liked in every room instead of just walking into the one that's meant for you. The truth is, every time you dilute your truth to fit into someone else's expectations, you delay your growth. You slow your momentum. You place your future on hold to babysit the comfort of people who wouldn't do the same for you. And here's what makes it even worse. Most of the people you're trying to impress are too distracted with their own insecurities to notice yours. You're carrying the weight of their potential disapproval like a boulder on your back, while they've already forgotten the moment you've been obsessing over. Meanwhile, your future is waiting. Your ideas are waiting, but you're busy giving your best energy to the past, to worry, to fear, to doubt, to conversations that don't need to happen, and expectations that were never yours to meet. If you knew how powerful your energy is, if you understood what could happen when that energy is directed toward your vision instead of their validation, you would never waste it again. Because energy is currency, and every day you spend it. The only question is, are you investing it in your future or wasting it on your fear? Redirecting your energy starts with awareness. Notice how often your thoughts spiral into self-doubt based on what they might think. Notice how often you stall your own progress because of a voice that isn't even your own. That's energy leakage. That's your power being stolen by patterns that no longer serve you. Reclaim it. Reclaim every second, every thought, every ounce of focus and passion, and direct it back into your own life. Build that dream. Take that step. Speak that truth. Make that move. Not everyone will understand it, and that's okay. They don't have to. Because your energy was never meant to keep them comfortable. It was meant to keep you moving. So stop wasting it on what doesn't grow you. Stop handing it over to people who wouldn't know what to do with it, even if they had it. Protect it. Nurture it. Aim it. Because your future is not waiting for approval. It's waiting for you to show up fully, fearlessly, and unapologetically focused on what truly matters. Number 6, confidence isn't loud, it's quietly unbothered. Confidence isn't loud, it's quietly unbothered, steady in its silence, and grounded in something deeper than the need to be seen. We live in a world that often mistakes noise for strength, where the loudest voices in the room are assumed to be the most secure, and where attention is chased as a substitute for actual worth. But real confidence doesn't shout to be noticed. It doesn't demand applause, doesn't rely on approval, and doesn't crumble when misunderstood. True confidence is subtle, like a calm ocean with powerful depth beneath the surface. It's in the way someone walks into a room without needing to dominate it. In the way they listen without rushing to prove something. In the way they make decisions without waiting for permission. Loudness often masks insecurity, a need to convince others in order to convince oneself. But quiet confidence comes from inner work, from knowing who you are, what you value, and where you're going, regardless of the noise around you. It doesn't mean you're emotionless or passive. It means you reach the level of self-assurance where you no longer feel the need to perform for others. It's the kind of presence that speaks volumes without uttering a word. The kind that holds eye contact, not to intimidate, but to connect. The kind that walks away from chaos, not out of fear, but out of respect for one's own peace. Quiet confidence is built in the hours no one sees. The moments you choose discipline over distraction, purpose over popularity, and clarity over chaos. It's shaped by failure that didn't break you, silence that didn't unsettle you, and pressure that didn't bend you. It allows you to say no without guilt, to take up space without apology, and to let others speak without needing to outshine them. You don't need to prove you're enough when you already know you are. This kind of confidence doesn't compete because it's rooted in abundance. It understands that there's room for others to shine without dimming your own light. It doesn't react to every criticism or chase every compliment. It's not reactive. It's selective. Because when you're truly confident, you realize not every battle deserves your energy, not every comment needs a response, and not every opinion is a reflection of your truth. You stop entertaining drama, stop needing to win arguments, stop trying to be right all the time. Why? Because your identity is no longer fragile. It's forged in something solid. Quiet confidence also creates a powerful ripple effect. It makes others feel safe, not small. It invites authenticity, not performance. And most importantly, it frees you from the exhausting burden of always trying to be impressive. When you are quietly unbothered, you're not cold. You're composed. You're not arrogant. You're anchored. You're not absent. You're intentional. You're present, yet detached from things that don't serve your peace. And in that stillness, you become magnetic. Not because you chase attention, but because you radiate calm amidst the chaos. In a world addicted to noise, stillness becomes a superpower. And the one who doesn't flinch, doesn't rush, and doesn't over-explain becomes the one who leads, not by force, but by example. So let others chase the spotlight if they must. You'll be over here building something unshakable, because confidence that needs to be heard isn't real. It's rehearsal. But confidence that simply is, that's power. That's presence. That's peace. Number 7, your life is yours. Live it without apology. Your life is yours. Live it without apology, without explanation, and without shrinking a single part of who you are to make others feel more comfortable in their limitations. Too many people walk through life carrying the invisible weight of expectations they never agreed to, tiptoeing around their dreams, their truth, and their uniqueness simply because someone somewhere might not approve. They edit their voice, their choices, their appearance, and their ambitions in hopes of being more acceptable, more likable, more predictable, but in doing so they slowly abandon themselves. But here's the truth. You were not born to be a replica of someone else's comfort zone. You were born to be fully, unapologetically alive. Your life is not a democracy. It's a sacred contract between you and your purpose. And no one else, not your parents, not your friends, not society, gets to vote on how you live it. You don't owe anyone an explanation for why you dream bigger, why you choose peace over people pleasing, or why you walk away from environments that once felt like home. Living without apology doesn't mean being disrespectful. It means being sovereign. It means standing in your truth, even when it's inconvenient, choosing your path, even when it's misunderstood, and saying this is who I am, without flinching under the gaze of disapproval. The reality is, no matter how good you are, how careful, how polished, you will still be too much for some and not enough for others. So why waste your one precious life trying to please everyone except the one person who has to live with your decisions every single day? You. When you stop apologizing for your existence, you reclaim your power. You stop waiting for validation and start walking in conviction. You begin to trust your intuition more than the noise around you. You take risks that align with your soul instead of settling for what's expected. And with every bold, authentic choice you make, you begin to breathe deeper, not because life becomes easier, but because it becomes yours. Living unapologetically also means owning your past, your imperfections, your mess, and choosing to rise anyway. It's refusing to let shame narrate your story and instead allowing growth, courage, and authenticity to take the lead. It's understanding that being real is far more powerful than being perfect. It's speaking your truth even when your voice shakes. It's taking up space without justification. And it's realizing that your worth is not up for debate just because someone else can see it. You don't need to prove yourself to those who are committed to misunderstanding you. You don't need to tone yourself down to be digestible for people who were never meant to taste your truth. You don't need to apologize for growing, evolving, choosing better, walking away, healing, dreaming, or simply existing in your full light. Your life is not a performance, it is a declaration, a bold statement that says, I am here to live fully, not fearfully. So stop asking for permission to be yourself. Stop explaining your fire to those who've grown comfortable in the dark. Stop postponing your joy because someone else hasn't found theirs. Your time is now. Your path is sacred. Your truth is enough. And the moment you stop apologizing for being exactly who you are is the moment you start attracting everything meant for the real you, not the version of you that's been filtered and approved. So live loudly, love deeply, dream boldly, and walk in truth daily because this life is yours and you don't need anyone's permission to live it fully. As you walk forward from this moment, remember your life is far too sacred to be lived through the eyes of others. The time you've spent worrying about who approves, who understands, or who claps has already cost you more than it ever gave. Now is the time to return to yourself, to look in the mirror and say, I choose me, not because I'm perfect, but because I'm real. You must begin to guard your energy like a treasure, speak your truth like a sacred offering, and build your future like it's the only one you will ever have, because it is. Do not wait for the world to accept you before you accept yourself. Do not keep watering dead relationships, dead-end conversations, or ideas of who you should be. Your soul already knows who you are becoming. Listen to it, trust it, live it. Let them misunderstand you. Let them talk. Let them walk away, but never ever walk away from yourself. Your confidence, your peace, your vision, these are not things you should be negotiating with people who haven't done the work to earn a seat in your life. Choose silence over performance. Choose peace over approval. Choose alignment over attention. And most of all, choose growth, even if it means letting go of what once felt safe. You are not here to be liked. You are here to live, not to meet expectations, but to fulfill a purpose. Not to blend in, but to rise. Now close your eyes for a moment, take a deep breath, and receive this blessing. May you be brave enough to walk your path, even if it's lonely. May you be wise enough to release what no longer grows you. May your heart be steady, your spirit unshaken, and your mind anchored in truth. May you wake up every day with the courage to be exactly who you are. And may the quiet power of your authenticity attract all the peace, joy, and success that is meant for you. You are already enough. You are already worthy. You are already free. Now go live like it. Amen.